I mean, truth be told, I'm not upset with her. I'm not even upset that the situation happened the way it did. But, I mean, going forward, as a civilization, we've got to establish some type of socially acceptable norms for situations such as this. We can talk about it more after the intro. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's TheBigIC with Mannishlaws, and today I want to talk to you about financial gifts and favors in a relationship. When is it acceptable to make these requests? But first, I want to get you to like and subscribe to this page so that I'll know if I'm providing content that you find valuable, and so that you'll know when new and fresh content has been dropped. But back to the story. I have this friend. You probably know who it is, but I'm not going to say any names just to protect the guilty. This friend dates frequently and tends to fall in love rather quickly. Usually about the second date in, he's professing his love and affection for some chick. So in this particular case, he meets this young lady. 3 days in, he's telling me, man, this is the one. Again. They go out, they spend tons of times together. They're even traveling. He's already seen the family by the 5th date. By day number 10, they're full in, body on body, as much as they can get. So as the story goes, he tells me that he goes over to the house this particular evening during the last cold snap, and the house is just freezing. So he asks, he says, hey babe, what's going on with your heat? And she's like, I don't know, it's just not clicking on. So he says, I think you better call somebody on this. Next morning, she has 2 repair trucks out at the house, and he leaves, he goes to work. He gets home that evening, and she comes over to his place, and they're having a little conversation. He can tell that something's on her mind. So he says, hey, you seem distracted. What's the problem? She says, well, I had my heater fixed. He says, well, that's good. You don't have to be freezing. I know you just moved into the house, and I'm glad you didn't have to be displaced because of your heating situation. So she says, yeah, but it cost me $5,000, and I wasn't really prepared to pay that. So dude was like, wow, that's pretty steep. $5,000? What they do, replace the whole unit? And she's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, they did. He says, well, at least you were able to pay that. That's a blessing in and of itself. A lot of people would have to scrounge and rob Peter to pay Paul to, make a major purchase like that on the spur of the moment. So this is where the story kind of turns, because the chick says, yeah, but I wasn't prepared to pay that. You see, my kids are headed back to school, and I just bought a car. My first car payment will be coming due in a few days. So I'm actually wondering if you can help me out a little bit. So my partner, being the type of upstanding guy that he is, he says, well, sure, what's a little bit and what do you need? She says, well, I need $5,000. So he was caught off guard. Hell, I was even caught off guard as he was telling me the story, because the repairs cost $5,000 and she needs a $5,000 loan or gift. Where he says, well, maybe pull a few strings, and I can see where maybe I can loan you a portion of it. She's like, well, I don't really want a loan. I want more like a grant. It would do a lot for the health and progression of our relationship if you could, figure out how you can help me out in this situation. So right here is where the stressors take place, because this lady, she's not asking for a short-term payday loan. She's asking for a permanent gift, a demonstration of his affection and value of their relationship. So this brother's stressed because she sprinkled the little seeds of it would do a lot for the future of our relationship on him, and he didn't know how to interpret that. So that brought me to the point of thinking, at what point is it acceptable to ask people for financial favors in a relationship? So I, consulted with a lot of, the guys that are close to me, a lot of my confidants and advisors, and did some research on Google, and crunched the numbers, meditated on it, talked to a few spiritual advisors, and at the end of it, came up with this number, 72. See, when you roll everything together and you calculate how many times you've had interactions, how many dates you've gone on, how many conversations you've had, how many intimate exposures have been involved. The number 72 really pops out as an acceptable time. So you need to have at least 72 interactions or dates or romantic interludes before either person can feel comfortable asking for a financial favor or giving a financial favor. So, look, bottom line is this. You can't be dating somebody and 3 weeks in, you feel like you have the right to ask them for any type of financial favor or gift. Now, if that person wants to do something like that, then that's okay. But you can't go into a relationship asking for financial favors and expecting for that to happen. I mean, that's just Mannishlaws.